Let's have a look at some statistical definitions of unemployment and three main sources. There they are: population of dwellings, census population and dwellings, household labour force survey, and the quarterly employment survey. Of those, the household labour force survey is probably the most important. You're working if you work more than 1 hour per week. You're defined as employed. And in the census, part-time employment 1 to 30 hours and full-time employment 30 hours plus. If you are jobless, and it's being unemployed, plus those wanting a job but not actively seeking a job. And the census unemployed is not working and available and actively seeking work. Census of population and dwellings, it's a survey that takes place every 5 years, and it asks every person and uses the same question, and it measures employment, unemployment and other stats. And the household labour force survey is a quarterly survey. I said 18,000, but about 15,000 households of 30,000 people. It started in 1995. It measures employed, unemployed and the number not in the labour force. It looks at the duration of employment and steps people have taken to find work, plus things like who is doing study. So it's quite a comprehensive survey, and it generally looks at the same people each quarter, subject to sort of changes within the sample. But it is a sample. It's not the entire population like the census, but it's quite regular, and it indicates changes in employment. The quarterly employment survey can help detect trends, but it's not as useful as the other surveys. It's not as accurate in the sense that there are certain problems with it in the way it measures jobs. It measures filled jobs, not the number of people employed. So individuals with more than one job are counted at each workplace. So a person with 2 jobs is counted as having 2 jobs, but there may, where in other surveys, household labour force survey, they're being counted as just being employed. It questions employers rather than employees, and it only looks at economically significant enterprises, and that's those with 2 employees and $30,000 GST expenses. And it also estimates changes in average hourly weekly earnings. So it's a useful survey, but probably not as useful as the census or the household labour force survey. So when you have a look at simple statistics, you've got your total population, you're working at age problem of 15 plus. Now note that in New Zealand, because it's illegal to discriminate on the basis of age, the retirement age is not a limit to the working age population. However, within the working age population, the labour force is smaller, and then it's split into employed and unemployed.